Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a pick a card reading to uncover what is blocking you from shifting or quantum leaping into your wealthiest timeline, into the money you desire. This is a timeless reading, so anytime you find this video is exactly when you need to hear this message. I always use the cards to channel messages directly from source and the spirit guides, deities, and collective that I work with. So this will be exactly what you need to hear right now. Now remember that you are the creator of your reality, so always, always, always take what you need from these readings. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Taylor Eaton, and I am the author of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, which is one of the decks that I have here for you to pick from today. So a very quick note before we dive into the different decks and have you pick one that within the next week, definitely within the next week, maybe even just the next day or two, the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck will be out of stock at our current warehouse, meaning that the only way to get it after that will be to pre-order for our big global print run that we just signed our contract with our new global distributor. So if you want to get your hands on the deck and do readings for abundance and wealth for yourself or others, or even gift the deck to someone else, be sure to grab your copy now so that you don't have to wait months to get it when we go back into pre-order officially. The link for the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck is in the description and in the pinned comments below. So now with all that being said, let's run through our different decks and their crystals so that you can pick the one or multiple ones that resonate with you. And if you can hear my toddler running around in the background, I apologize for any extra noise, but she is having way too much fun for me to ask her to stop. So we're just going to go with it because the vibes are good. Okay, so for deck number one, the crystal here is Black Tourmaline. Make sure I can get to focus. There we go. This is what that crystal looks like. For deck number two, we have Peacock Ore. Really pretty. For deck number three, we have Desert Rose. And then for deck number four, we have Clear Quartz. We will be incorporating all of the decks into each of the readings, and I will list all of these in the description below so that if you are interested in what any of the decks are, you will be able to find that info down below. You can absolutely watch more than one of the readings if more than one deck is calling to you. That just means that there is guidance for you in each of those readings that you are meant to hear. So if you need to, pause the video here, take however long you need to choose, and then click the timestamps below in the description or in the pinned comment to jump to whichever deck or decks that you're called to, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, hello. You picked deck number one and the Black Tourmaline here. We're going to be uncovering in this reading what is blocking you from quantum leaping or shifting realities into your wealthiest desired timeline. Why you maybe just can't seem to make that shift, or what's preventing you from shifting as quickly as you could into the wealth that you desire. So a very quick reminder before we dive in that I do not offer private readings to anyone outside of the Wealth Vibe membership, so please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and asking for payment for readings. Please do not get scammed by those people. If you would like to join the Wealth Vibe membership, I would love to get to connect with you in there. It really is the best place to help you up your money manifestation game. It's complete with exclusive and personalized card pulls, monthly challenges to master different aspects to manifesting money, and we have a money-centric and spirituality book club, a high vibe community of like-minded people, just so much goodness in there. We're actually doing a whole challenge there in the Wealth Vibe membership next month to help you prepare to successfully quantum leap into the wealth that you desire. And then the next month in April, we'll be doing a challenge where you're actually quantum leaping into that reality. So if you feel called to join me there in the membership, or if you want to grab a copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck before stock runs out soon in the next few days, week at the most, the links for both of those are in the description and in the pinned comment below. With that being said, let's get into your reading. We're going to move your crystal out of the way and we're going to start shuffling. Let's see what deck one, what's blocking deck one. See the first thing that the universe wants you to know or shift in order to be able to quantum leap into your desired reality. What does bountiful blessing? It's all kind of lined up for you, deck one. This card really in this deck is all about just the fact that like the universe is lining everything up for you and you just have to take that bold leap. So the universe is saying where you're the most stuck right now in terms of really shifting into a new reality, a new financial reality, is that there's just some sort of action that I'm getting this since you already know you need to take, but it's terrifying to take it because it's outside your comfort zone. It might not even be a big action. It's likely something that's not that huge, but it feels huge to you. And the universe is saying like that it acknowledges that what you need to do next in order to leap into the reality you desire, in order to leap into more money. The universe is acknowledging like, yeah, it's scary. I get it. Like it's intimidating. It makes you doubt yourself. You're worried about what if I fail? What if I fall? But the universe is saying, you're going to fail. You're never going to get to where you want if you don't move toward what you want. So that's the first thing that really has to be adjusted here is you have to be willing to get a little bit outside your comfort zone. The universe is saying that thing that you know you need to do, what is it? And go do it, right? That's part of the key to what you really need to be doing in order to unlock more abundance. How are you going to do that? You're going to do it by really understanding your worth, okay? So this is one of the foundational pieces that really has to be in place in order to shift realities, in order to very quickly and almost miraculously or logically manifest more wealth into your life, is you have to completely know your innate worthiness of everything you desire. And it's interesting because I've been doing this work for 5+ years. I've been working with people on their money mindset, manifestation, business, all that sort of stuff. And what I found is people, when I ask the question, do you think you're worthy of money you desire? Everyone almost all the time says, yes, I think I'm worthy of it. But when you drill down to it, not feeling worthy looks like things like you don't feel like you're working hard enough, or you're not smart enough, or like you haven't figured out the right thing so the money can't come until you figure out the right way for the money to come in, or the right way to make your business work, or the right offer, or the right degree. It's like those are all things that are a surface level story we have that roots back down into not feeling worthy enough. The universe is saying, in order for you to take whatever leap you need to take, it's going to be so much easier, deck one, when you really get down into really rooting into your innate worthiness. I just had a channeled message go out to my email list the other day that was along these lines of like, you are the universe. You are part of this universe. You exist amongst stars and supernovas and all this beauty and mystery and miracle in the universe. You're part of the universe. You are the universe. And yet you act like that $10,000 you want to make or that $1 million you want to make is something you're not worthy of, because you have to become something more than you are right now in order to get it. And it's a lie. You have to truly know that whatever you desire, especially in terms of money, let's be honest, deck one, is like a drop in the ocean of what you are capable of creating and what you are worthy of having in this lifetime. Because you're an extension of the universe, my loves. So you're just saying, when you can get in touch with that level of worthiness, then taking that leap is going to be easy. And I will tell you, this is something I've struggled with so much in the past, right? And there's deeper and deeper layers. This is something we're very much conditioned around in our society, especially around money, to think we're not enough in some way to get what we want, or we have to become something more. This isn't to say that you don't grow or you don't learn new skills or new ways of making money, but we connect it so much deeper than that, to a sense of our worth or our identity. And when the money's not coming, we think it's a problem with us. And that's not necessarily true. Typically, the money's not coming because we think there's a problem with us. So then we are so powerful that that's the reality we create for ourselves. Yeah, the universe is saying, deck one, what if you already are doing enough? What if you're actually doing everything right? You're already on track. It's literally just your belief that you're on the right track that you need to lean into so that you can then take the next step and the next step and not think you haven't got it figured out or you're not doing enough. What if all the money would come if you just decided you were enough and doing enough right now? And if the money wasn't coming, you would know that you'd get some sort of inspiration or idea or some sort of action that would feel so right and so aligned to take that you almost can't help but take it. Like, that's how easy it gets to be, and it should be. But again, it has to come down to believing that. So let's get that guidance. What else can deck 1 do? What can they do to really remember their worth? Root into gratitude. Root into gratitude, deck 1. Really, like, that's really what it comes down to, is the universe is saying, be so grateful for your own gifts. Value what comes easily to you. It does not come easily to everyone else. Value your unique strengths. Value the things that make you you. Value your life experiences. Value those things. Be grateful for them. See the value in them. The universe is saying, honestly, like, even doing a daily or weekly practice of gratitude, of not just any old gratitude. Okay, this isn't like, oh, I'm so grateful I have a roof over my head. Oh, I'm so grateful for the money in my bank account. Those things are great. Do that if you want to. But really, what's going to help you here and be ready to take the bold action that's going to help you quantum leap, that's going to help you know your worth so that you take the bold action, it's going to be gratitude for who you are. Gratitude for who you are on a spiritual, divine level, and also gratitude for who you are in this human existence, for who you are, for the life you've lived, for the things you have overcome, the things you've experienced, the lessons you've learned, your gifts, your skills, your innate traits, your qualities, the way you make people feel, how you help others, all of those things, deck 1. Really lean into that gratitude for it, okay? So that's the first thing. This is, by the way, this element of knowing your worth and your value and that innate value and that innate knowing that no matter what, like, the money you want could come to you right now because you're already enough and doing enough, and you'll naturally be led to whatever needs to happen next. And just that, like, that's a lot of what it's one of the things we're doing in the Wealth by membership this next month for our challenge to help you lay that foundation for a successful quantum leap and be able to hold the leap, right? Because leaping's actually easy. It's holding it. It's quite hard. So if you want to come be part of that, the link for the Wealth by membership is in the description below. I'd love to get to support you with that. But let's move on to our next deck. We're going to see what else the universe needs you to know in order to quantum leap. Potential promise. It's about to happen. Keep going. Keep going. Keep taking the action. What's stopping deck 1 from going? What's stopping deck 1 from continually going? Let's see what we have. Open. Say yes. Expand through extremes. Trust life. How much are you saying no to things because you're either worried you're not enough or that you'll fail at it or it won't work, but you're saying no to things that feel good to you? How much are you doing that, deck 1? Or how much are you not taking the action that you know you need to take because it's scary, because it's outside of your comfort zone? How much are you doing that, deck 1? You have to start saying yes to your worth, saying yes to what feels right to you, saying yes to what you want, letting yourself even want what you want without feeling guilt or shame. That's a whole nother thing, right? And trusting that you can figure it out no matter what happens. Building that trust is such a huge piece. Again, this is another component of what we're doing inside the Wealth by membership. Building that trust in yourself, building that trust in your inner guidance, building that trust in the universe. That is so key for you to really anchor into. And as you do that, as you start to trust life more, it's all going to happen. It's going to be easy. It's going to keep going. But by saying no, I get the sense you're trying to protect yourself, right? You're trying to protect yourself from failure, from pain, from disappointment, maybe from financial loss even. Of course, always use discretion for what's right for you in terms of your finances. But the universe is saying, like, if you're always trying to protect yourself, you never let anything in. You have to be open. You have to kind of be open to potential heartbreak or pain or loss or failure, but know, again, that you can find gratitude in that later on. That'll make you stronger. That'll make you wiser. And maybe it all works out for you, right? What else does deck want me to hear? Especially about this saying, yes. What else? What else does deck want me to hear? We have the return, a new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. Start telling the story of what you want to have happen. Start focusing on that more than the story of what you don't want to have happen. Deck one. That's often something, and I'll tell you, I've experienced this personally and I've seen it with a lot of clients over the years. So often we think that especially when we're manifesting money or trying to jump into more abundance, we think that we are that we're being really good about like staying focused on what we desire. But oftentimes we are focusing on what we don't want to have happen, or we're focusing on what we desire because we're desperate for it to happen. So we're trying to force it to happen by saying our affirmations or focusing on it or clinging to that vision of it or embodying it so fiercely because we're afraid of what's going to happen. So what's your ulterior motive? What's the underlying reason why you are looking at what you want, right? Like when you think about the wealth you desire, when you think about your wealthiest timeline, when you think about the abundance you want to quantum leap into, how do you feel about it underneath it all? Why are you thinking about that? Why do you want it? You got to want whatever you want just because you want it, but if you are looking at it and trying to leap into it and trying to manifest the money because you are afraid if you don't, you won't be able to afford rent, then what the actual underlying vibration is I can't afford rent. I am in lack. I am in scarcity. So there has to be, again, that trust in life, but you have to decide what you're actually moving toward. Oftentimes you think I'm moving toward more money, but actually you're moving toward more lack while just looking at more money and hoping for it so that you don't continue or end up in lack. You have to shift that underlying story. You have to actually look at what you want and enjoy looking at what you not want and not have an underlying feeling of dread or fear of what if this doesn't happen? What if this happens instead? That has to go. It's so hard to do. I get it. It's so hard to let go of that 3D reality. And I will never minimize the importance of money in our lives and our physical society. Like we need money to survive. I get it. But how much has it worked for you to look at what you want while really underlyingly, truly more focusing on what you don't want or trying to get what you think you want because it's just to avoid something you don't want, right? So make sure you're coming into alignment with what you truly want and allowing yourself to want it instead of not wanting the opposite, right? Okay, what else does deck one need to hear in order to quantum leap to more abundance? What's blocking them? Porcupine and an enemy. Boundaries. Boundaries with who or what? Gets this card heal here. Boundaries with productivity. Probably with yourself, maybe with others, healing wounds. So having boundaries with people who have hurt you, or more just honestly, I get that this is probably more having boundaries with yourself around habits that do not serve you, habits that actually hurt you or keep you further from what you desire. Truly, the universe is saying like things like scrolling on social media to numb out so you're distracting yourself from the fear or the lack that you feel instead of maybe healing that or creating a game plan so that you don't feel that pressure anymore, and then you can actually be more productive in your manifestation work or in your actual work that you're doing to bring in money and be more inspired in it. So really making sure that you're having those boundaries with yourself, like have boundaries with yourself of what, not numbing out or not doing habits that are stemming from these deeper fears or wounds. Like address those things so that you can create healthier habits that are actually going to move you toward what you want. And you'll be surprised at how quickly it happens for you, then how quickly the money starts coming in because you quantum leap into it, right? But not having that boundary with yourself and letting yourself just, it's like with my 2.5-year-old daughter. It's like if I let her, she would never go to bed. She will run and run and run around, even though she's having meltdowns because she's so tired. It's like she will not go to bed. But I have to be the parent and step in and say, look, you need some sleep, and I know it's not fun. I know you'd rather play, but look, we'll make it fun. And we'll have some fun at bedtime. We'll read books and snuggle, and then it'll be good, and you can go to sleep, and then we'll have even more fun tomorrow because you'll be refreshed. And it's like the same thing with yourself. You kind of have to almost reparent yourself in a way here with those things that you maybe don't want to look at within yourself. Things especially around money, fears, lack around money, lack of success, sometimes fear of success, right? Like what are you afraid of happening that you keep looking at? Or that you think, you're trying to manifest to avoid that situation, right? It's not how we manifest. It's not how we quantum leap. You're just going to draw yourself to that situation more and more. Okay. This is kind of a rapid fire one. How I'm reading tonight. That's how the guidance is coming through. I'm channeling not so much from my collective right now, which I typically is who I'm channeling from. I'm channeling a lot more from like my angels and some of my guides. I don't channel a lot from my angels. It's very interesting energy coming through for you, deck one. What else does deck one need to hear, if anything? The Green Man and Moss Agate, Ritual and Ceremony. New Spirit Guides, Tree Wisdom. It's so interesting because I had the idea recently to do one of these readings to help you meet a money guide, like steps you could take to meet your money guide, your money spirit guide, or meet a new money spirit guide. And I'm getting that's something that you get to do here, that there's going to be some sort of new guide. This could be someone in the physical world, like another person you meet who becomes a guide to help you step into abundance, to help you maybe heal these things, or to help you actually be able to focus on what you want, or be able to take that bold action to be able to know your worth, your true inherent worth. It could be someone who helps you do that, like a coach. It might be time to invest in a coach. It might be time to, you might find a teacher in your field or something like that. But I also get sense this could be on a spiritual level. There's a spirit guide that's waiting to help you. Like ask your spirit team to help you. Ask the universe to help you. Ask God to help you. Ask the angels to help you. You could also, if you feel comfortable, try to meet whatever spirit guide is wanting to step forward and help you quantum leap into this next level of abundance. The universe is saying to get to where you want to go financially, deck one, you're going to need a different kind of guide and a different kind of support than you've had thus far. And it's not that you're not capable of handling it, but it's like that's ready for you and it's available for you, which is really such a gift and such a blessing. Let's see what else they have to say, if there's anything else they have about any other spirit guides or anything else. Oh my goodness, deck one. Let's shuffle some of these for you. See what's coming up here. Pilgrimage, Sacred Sites Grid Work, Dragon Energy. Could be that you meet whatever teacher it is on a trip, on a vacation somewhere, especially to a holy space, or just in meditation might be the way to connect with your guide. Integrating energies, awakening, transitioning. Again, I'm getting the message here that there's someone who's wants to help you. There's someone either in the physical realm. I get the sense it's for most of you more likely in the spiritual realm. Maybe both. There's someone who wants to help you be able to make this quantum leap. There's someone who wants to help you and who has the tools to help you. In order to connect with them, go inward. Or it could be that if you have a trip coming up, you might meet them. Just be on the lookout. Be open to that. Be open to it, right? To meeting someone who's going to guide you. But there's some energy that is wanting to help you awaken, transition, right? Like you're on the cusp of it. If you can truly root into your worth with gratitude, trust the universe and trust life, and allow yourself to open up to what you actually want and not what you're afraid of happening and trying to manifest something to avoid that. Someone to help you heal some of these habits or move through them, or, no longer kind of overstep your own boundaries with it. There's someone who wants to help you make this transition, to awaken to that next timeline. But you have to let them in. You have to be open to it. But expect it. Like, this is the energy that's coming through is very joyful with this. I want to be clear. It's very joyful energy. It's like very uplifting. It's like, ooh, you're going to feel less alone in manifesting the wealth you desire. My guides just said, what if you're the guide for them? If I am the guide for you, come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership. It's only $25 a month. And this is what we're working on next month and the following month. But I get the sense for a lot of you, it's a spiritual guide, right? We're going to pull one last card for you. The Champion card from our Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. When you quantum leap, my love, it's going to be for the highest good of all, which is phenomenal. Like, you are going to do such good in the world. And the universe wants you to know that because I'm getting maybe some guilt or some shame, or like I said, you're not really letting yourself fully want what you want. Maybe because you think you're a bad person for wanting what you want. Maybe you think it's because if by you succeeding in quantum leaping, it's going to take away from someone else, or it's not fair to someone else. It's like the universe is saying, no, like, you're meant to be wealthy in this lifetime. You're meant to be able to access immense wealth, because when you, specifically deck one, have a lot of money or abundance at your disposal, you are going to do such good and needed things in this world. You're going to help so many people, whether it's by being able to donate to charities and causes that need it. Maybe it's just because then you're going to be able to share your soul's work, which so many people need to hear, because you're no longer going to have to do some sort of job that you don't love. You're going to be financially supported so you can share with no reservation and complete freedom. Maybe it's that in having money, you'll inspire other people to make more money. Like, whatever it is, no matter what happens, you get trust that when you jump and you quantum leap, like, it's gonna be for the highest good of all. So if there's any sort of story in you that it's not okay for me to want this much money, that gets to go. You get to know, no, I'm going to do so much good in so many different ways. Me having this money is meant for me because it's going to help so many people. It's going to lift the whole world up. Oh my goodness. So, so beautiful. So there you have it, deck one. That is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. This was a really fun one. If you liked this reading, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below letting me know what you took from it, how it resonated, what you're even quantum leaping into. I love getting to hear your thoughts on these videos. It's truly just the highlight for me of posting these, is getting to connect with you about them in the comments. You are also absolutely welcome to subscribe to my channel for future card readings and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money if you're not already subscribed. And of course, if you want to come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership or grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck before stock runs out, the links for both of those are in the description and the pinned comment below. So with all of that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity, abundance, worthiness, knowing your worth, so much trust, guidance. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for what you're going to quantum leap into and what you're going to do with it. So I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, you picked deck number 2 and the Peacock Ore. We're going to be uncovering in this reading what is blocking you from quantum leaping or shifting realities into your wealthiest desired timeline, into all the money, the riches, the prosperity that you want. So a very quick reminder that I do not offer private readings to anyone outside of the Wealth Vibe membership, so please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and asking for payment for readings. Those people are not me. Do not get scammed by them. If you want to join the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to private readings, exclusive readings, personalized card pulls, then I would love to get to connect with you in there. It really is the best place to up your money manifestation game. We have monthly challenges to master different approaches to manifesting money. We have our money and spirituality centric book club and a high vibe community of like-minded people. We're also, this next month in the membership, our challenge is all around preparing to quantum leap, to help you successfully do that and being able to leap into the wealth you desire. And then the next month in April, we're going to be doing an actual challenge where you're actually leaping into that reality and having support from me and others to do so. So if you feel called to join me in the membership, or if you want to get a copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, which is the deck I authored and will be using later in this reading, before stock runs out, then the links for the membership and the deck are both in the description and in the pinned comment below. With that being said, we'll move your crystal out of the way and get right into your reading, my loves. What does deck 2 need to hear? Ooh, what's blocking deck 2 from quantum leaping into the abundance they desire, from shifting into their wealthiest timeline? What is blocking deck 1? Or deck 2, I'm sorry. The Mystic Rose, compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, grace. This is gonna sounds a little funny sometimes. How much are you worried about ruffling feathers by having more money? That's really what's coming up. Is in some ways, like, I clearly with this card, you are a compassionate person. You are so committed to humanity, to helping others, to doing no harm. These things are amazing, beautiful traits and qualities. They are gifts that you have. However, sometimes, especially with our programming in our society, our ego will take some of our most beautiful sacred gifts and twist them to make excuses for why we cannot have what we want. So, because you are such a compassionate, amazing person who cares so deeply for others, deck 2, sometimes there might also be a lot of that people pleasing within you. A lot of the fear of, if I have more money, what are my friends and family going to think? If I have all of the money I desire, am I going to be a bad person? Are people going to judge me? If I get to all the money I desire in the way I want, like if there's a specific way you want to manifest the money, or how you think you'll have more money when you shift into that reality with more money, are you worried people are going to judge you for that? That's a big thing that might be holding you back right now, is the fear of what others will think, whether it's family, friends, random people on the internet, just people in general, either judging you for having money or the way you want to receive the money. Honestly, this probably comes down to also just being all of you and being compensated wildly for it. What's the fear there? Is it the fear of being seen? Is it the fear of how other people will perceive you? Is it the fear of being misunderstood or judged? That's what's blocking you. It's interesting. We just had this conversation today. I'm filming this a day or two before this post, but we just had this conversation today inside of my Wealth Vibe membership, the day I'm recording this. And we had a live stream in there, and I was chatting with some of the people, and a lot of we were saying, like, I've had these fears too of, are people going to judge me for what I do, especially in this realm of spirituality? Are people going to say that I'm, selling snake oil, or do people not get it, or are people just not going to like me, or are people going to misunderstand what I say in these readings, right? Like, I've had those fears, and I've had them at every different step of my career and my business, and no matter what I'm doing. And a lot of people in my membership were saying, yeah, I have those fears of, like, being misunderstood, being perceived in a way that isn't how I am or how I want to be perceived. My loves, deck 2, you cannot control how anyone else perceives you, and it's none of your business. But the more that you cling to that fear of what other people are going to think or how they're going to see you, the more you hold yourself back from leaping into that abundance that you desire. It's really clear and beautiful guidance. And I get it. Sometimes we have relationships that we're afraid to let go of. We're afraid to jeopardize. And that's fair. That's a legitimate fear, right? You love someone in your life or your family, and you're like, but if I do this, are they gonna alienate me? Are they gonna, throw me out? And that's up to you to decide, is that worth not being all of me or owning what I want? And if the answer is yes, that's worth it, then that's fine, right? But that's why you're not quantum leaping, okay? That's just what it is. You're allowed to make whatever choice you want. You have that free will. You can choose to not be all of you, to preserve or not at all risk any of your current relationships. That's fine, and that's a fair thing. But as long as you do that, you won't quantum leap into the wealth you desire. That's what the card's saying, right? So just know, like, you have free will. You're not wrong for doing that. But if you're here, this is what's blocking you, right? Okay, what else for deck 1? This card right here. Plant yourself here. Integration, embodiment, grounded action. So if you want to get over the people pleasing, if you want to get over the fear of being perceived, be in the now. Be in the now, and be fully you in the now, right? Embodied in your divinity, embodied in your authentic self, the truest expression of you in this moment, and be present with it, right? When you can be present with who you are and enjoy who you are and revel in the joy of being all of you and fully expressed in this moment, and not thinking about the future or worrying about the past, that's when you can escape those thoughts of what are other people going to think about me. Because rarely is that stuff ever actually happening in the moment. 99% of the time, we're experiencing the fears and the what ifs in our head. It's rarely ever that people are actually in our face judging us, right? It can happen, but again, it's none of your business. And also, if you just stay in the present moment, then you're going to reduce about 99% of the worries and fears you have around it, which is more than enough to be able to shift. You don't have to be perfect, okay? You don't have to be perfect to quantum leap, but you do have to be willing to be all of you, okay? You have to be willing to be all of you. Now, you have to be willing to be the version, the universe saying, you have to be willing to be the version of you that you want to be. Now, embodied. You have to bring the version of you who has all the wealth you desire, that wealthiest version of you in that all other timeline. You have to bring them into the now. You have to become that person now before the wealth shows up. I call this holding the vision, call it wealth embodiment. Plant that future self of yourself into the present moment and be present with that and watch what happens. This is something we're doing specifically, this embodiment work, this holding the vision, this being the version you want to be before the money shows up without waiting for permission to feel that way, to see yourself that way. This is what we're doing in our challenge next month inside the Wealth Club membership. So if you want support in that, come join me in there at the link below. Whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. You are meant to do so much in this lifetime, and there's going to be so much abundance that is available to you through so many creative and sacred ways. Deck 2, when you allow yourself to be all and who you want to be now, when you bring that wealthy version of yourself into this moment, that's essentially how you quantum leap. Let's be real about it. In order to do, that's going to open up so much abundance for you. Because again, what's been holding you back has been the fear of what other people think about you. It's been the fear of ruffling feathers, the fear of alienating people, the fear of being perceived or misunderstood in a way that you're terrified of, that your ego is terrified of. But if you were truly, this is some tough love, but again, it's love. And you were saying, if you were truly devoted to humanity and to helping others, you wouldn't dim your light, because the world needs your light. Deck 2. Desperately. It needs this fully expressed, embodied, wealthiest version of you now. And when you can bring that into the now and get over what other people think of you and know that's none of your business, you get to open up to so much abundance coming in through your creativity, your ideas, your point of view, whatever inspires you, through your art, through your writing, through channeling, whatever it is, sacred or creative, that calls to you. You will either make tons of money directly from it, or you will use it in a way that will lead you to the wealth you desire. But you got to get over what anyone might think about you, because that's when you are truly all of who you are, you came here to be, and your soul came here to be. That'll trigger people because they don't know how to do that for themselves. So you have to be willing not to let those projections in. Really powerful guidance deck too. Like you have it within you. You are meant to be so incredibly abundant and so powerful and so embodied and so free in how you express yourself in this lifetime, so authentic to your soul. That is available to you, and it's going to help so many people. You're here to do that and be compensated for being all of who you want to be. But you have to own that. Okay, I feel like we're going so deep with this. This is so good. The Ram and Dahlia, determination. What else do we have? Balance. I thought we had some balance here, but we didn't. Let's see, I want to get one more card for this full message here. Metamorphosis. So here's the question for you, deck 2. Are you determined to try to please everybody, to try to balance how everyone perceives you and walk on eggshells? Or are you determined to evolve and to rise up into all of who you came here to be, including all the wealth you came here to have and experience in all forms of the word wealth, right? What are you more determined to do? And that's going to tell you whether you're on track or not, or ready or not to quantum leap. This is just the question the universe is asking you to help you get really clear on where you are with what we just uncovered with those first 3 cards. Are you more determined to keep the peace, to not ruffle any feathers? Or are you more determined to be all of who you came here to be? To leap, literally, says a frog, to quantum leap into all that you can be. What are you more determined to do? Again, there's no right or wrong answers. But it's, what are you choosing? It's a great question to reflect on. It's a great question to ask yourself before you take any action, especially in your money-making activities, is, where's my determination right now? Is it a determination to make people like me, to want to buy from me, to want to hire me? Or is it a determination to be all of who I am because I know and I'm being all of who I came here to be? And I know that that's going to help people naturally, right? Like, am I in this moment taking action because I am or not taking action, right? Because I'm determined to try to be what I think people want me to be, or what I think other people want me to be in order to be wealthy? That won't work. Or am I more determined to transform into whoever I want to be and my soul came here to be? Question to ask yourself before you take any action, to give you clarity to journal on at any given time, right? What else do we have for deck 2? It's interesting because I always tell people, what are you putting your trust in? Are you putting your trust in your desires or in your fears? Are you putting your trust in yourself or your fears, right? Like, we're always trusting something. Oftentimes people are like, I have trouble trusting in myself and in the universe. It's like, you don't have a trust problem. You just aren't directing that trust where it needs to go in order to serve you in getting where you want to be and what you want to manifest. So where are you putting your trust? Where are you putting your determination? Deck 2. We have fairies orders: rest, replenish, and release guilt. Release guilt. Release guilt for wanting what you want. Let yourself want what you want, my loves. Life is too short to not let yourself want what you want when you actually allow yourself to rest. Not just rest and replenish, but like release guilt. That's a replenishment of your soul. Like, holding guilt takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. That's a heavy energy to carry. Guilt. That drains you. So just by releasing guilt, you're going to naturally start to feel more rested, more replenished. You'll be able to rest more easily and rest in being all of who you want to be and who you know you came here to be and all the things you desire. But also when you finally do that, when you release the guilt and become truly all of who you want to be, like, you're going to be reborn. This is resurrection. Commitment, again, determination, commitment. Purification, devotion. We have that up here, devotion. The key to, again, we're coming back to something I said here, but the key to the wealth you desire to leap into, to shift into, that timeline, the key to that is the same thing that's keeping you locked away from it. And it's this devotion to others, this compassion you have, this commitment you have to other people. But if you're not able to shift into the timeline you want to be in, into the wealth you desire to have, it's because you are using what is supposed to be the key to your abundance, to your shift, as the key to keep yourself locked away from it. You're using it to lock the door instead of open it, is what I'm getting. Deck 2, you are supposed to be compassionate because you're supposed to be compassionate with yourself, yes, but also with humanity. You're supposed to want to help others, but you have to understand that the way you will help others the most in this lifetime is by being all of who you came here to be and letting yourself want what you want, because if you want it, it's there to help you be who you're going to be. You being all of who you came here to be, Deck 2, is a gift to the world. And if that makes you uncomfortable, that's something to really look at and get used to. You are meant to, like, all of who your soul came here to be is a gift to the world. And if you cannot own that, you will not shift into all the abundance you're capable of shifting into. You have to own that. That comes back to a worthiness issue. It comes back to knowing your innate worthiness, knowing what a gift you are to yourself and to others. And that's not a conceited thing. That is actually a very humble thing. How humble, how devoted, how committed are you? How determined to share yourself and your soul with the world. That is such a courageous thing to do, such a selfless thing to do, but you can't do that if you're not being all of you first. You've been given a beautiful gift, your compassion, your grace, your kindness, your humanity. Deck 2, you specifically have this gift because you're meant to help people with it. But you can't help people if you don't, you're so worried about hurting them, or you're so worried about people seeing you a certain way. That's selfishness in a way. I know you're doing it because you think it's coming from compassion, but it's selfish in a way because you're hiding away the best parts of you that could help so many people because you're so afraid. And it's fair. I know you're getting called out real hard here, but it's like, I've had to hear this stuff too in my journey, personally. And you have to be willing to eventually get to a point to own how amazing you are, to own your brilliance, to own your divinity, and for you, you're here to share it with the world. When you can do that, you stop locking yourself away from what you want and you open the door to it. Because you already have the key. You're just twisting it. You're allowing your fear to twist it to be used in a way it was never meant to be used. This might be why money or getting to the success you desire, that next level, has felt so hard for you, my loves. Is because you have the key, you're just not using it how it was intended to be used. You're using it for the opposite function. Okay. What else for deck 3 or deck 2? Jumping numbers here. I'm jumping timelines. Crystal grid, focus. What? All this focus. Create with intent. Again, we have creation, creativity. So much focus. Where are you putting your focus? Literally, also crystal grid. Use some crystals to help you focus. There's a lot of really good crystals for focus out there. Whatever calls to you, if that calls to you. Don't have to use crystals if you don't want to. But focus, like, create what you want. Again, what are you looking at? Are you looking at what you want? Or are you looking at trying to manifest because you're afraid of what might happen, right? If you don't manifest what you want, right? So create with intent. Stop letting, this is good. The universe is saying, stop letting your fear create automatically, create for you, right? Because again, that fear of what others might think or how your relationships might be affected, that fear is keeping you from creating with intent. You need to create consciously. You're creating subconsciously from fear. You have to focus. Own how much of a gift you are to this world. And then you'll be able to easily create what you want and create that leap. Shift timelines, create all the wealth you desire. It'll be a no-brainer for you. The orchestrator. You're in charge of your life, my love. You're in charge of your life. Start acting like it. Stop giving other people that power. It all comes back to that for you. Say what you want to say. Speak your truth is what's coming up here. Speak your truth. Okay? When you speak your truth, you tell the universe, I'm ready. But as long as you keep trying to not stir the pot at all, not ruffle anyone's feathers, then you aren't being the leader of your life. You're not directing the universe at all. You're just directing the universe to keep you small because you're afraid to be big. Own how much of a gift you are. Yep, there it is. The goddess. You're a goddess or God, whatever you identify with. You are a gift to the world. And people will want to pay you when you see yourself that way. They will see you that way too. They will see what a gift you are. But you have to go first. You have to speak your truth. And then when you do, you're going to leap so quickly. It's going to happen so quickly for you. It really will. It'll blow your mind how insanely fast it happens. But again, you won't be able to hold it if you don't understand how much of a gift you are. Even if you do kind of somehow squeak through speaking your truth, but you do it, it's okay to do it scared, but if you haven't fully decided to see yourself as a blessing, to be all of who you truly came here to be able to easily receive from others and not feel guilty about it, and know that in receiving you give and that you are a gift to humanity. If you don't have that, you will not be able to hold whatever timeline you shift into. This is the biggest issue with quantum leaping and shifting realities and collapsing time around money. Especially, we self-sabotage because we get there and then we think I'm not deserving, or I'm being greedy, or how am I going to do this again, and we're just not ready, right? So again, if you know that this is an issue for you, come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership, because that's what we're working on in March, if you're watching this as it posts. And then in April, we'll actually be quantum leaping, being prepared to hold it, right? So, yeah, this is really beautiful guidance. Deck 2. Like, I feel like you got called out a lot here in this reading. But I feel like just the raw power in you. And you just, it hurts. I'm getting this pain of, like, it hurts how little you see the power and the lovability in yourself. Like, and even if you think you see it, like, there's so much more of it that you don't see. And the universe is like, please see it, because we see it. Guides and collectives are all saying, we see it. Please see it. The world needs you to see it. You need you to see it. And then everything opens up, and that key you've been using to lock yourself in becomes a key to set yourself free and to unlock everything you want. All right, deck number 2. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below, letting me know what you took from this reading and how it resonated. I really love getting to connect with you in the comments. Let me know what you're quantum leaping into. What amount of money? In what way? What do you want to shift into? I really enjoy getting to connect in the comments with you about what you take away from these readings. You're also more than welcome, if you're not already, to subscribe to my channel for future card readings and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. And of course, like I said, if you want to join me in the Wealth Vibe membership, or grab your copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck before stock runs out very soon, the links for both of those are in the description and in the pinned comment below. So with all that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance and true knowing of what a gift you are in this world, deck 2. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, you picked deck number 3 in the Desert Rose Crystal. We're going to be uncovering in this reading what is blocking you from quantum leaping or shifting realities into your wealthiest desired timeline. Now, a very quick reminder before we dive in that I do not offer private readings to anyone outside of my Wealth Vibe membership, so please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and asking for payment for readings. Those people are not me. Do not get scammed by them. If you do want to join the Wealth Vibe membership, I would love to get to connect with you in there. It really is, in my most humble opinion, the best place to help you up your money manifestation game. We have exclusive and personalized card pulls in there, monthly challenges to master different approaches to manifesting money. We have our money and spirituality themed book club and a high vibe community of like-minded people. We're also doing a whole challenge in there in the month of March, to help you prepare to successfully quantum leap into the wealth you desire. And then the next month, which is April, we'll be doing a challenge where you're actually quantum leaping into that reality. So if you feel called to join me in the membership, or if you want to get your copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, which is the deck I authored and we're about to run out of stock soon, we're going to use that deck later in this reading. So if you want to grab your copy of that, the link for both the membership and the deck are in the description and in the pinned comment below. So with that being said, we're going to move your Desert Rose Crystal out of the way. We're going to get right into your reading. So what does deck 3 need to hear to quantum leap? How is deck 3 blocked from quantum leaping? What's blocking deck 3 from their wealthiest timeline? From hopping right into it. Ooh. Is this card right? No. Ooh. Do you even want to leap? Deck 3, we say we want to leap, but do you? Are you afraid of it? Are you afraid of the obstacles? We have this overcoming obstacle cards here with the goat and willow. Even before I saw it, I knew, right? With the energy that was coming through as I was shuffling. Do you actually want to leap? Like, again, I think you want to. And I think there's a bigger part of you that does, but what is the fear that's outweighing the actual reward? What is the fear of actually leaping? Like, what are you afraid of happening when you do actually get all the money you want? Like, really sit with that for a second. Deck 3. This is a great journaling prompt. It's one that's helped me unblock myself quite a few times in the past around money when I've made big leaps. Asking yourself, what am I afraid of happening if I actually get all the wealth I desire? Like, are you afraid you're going to be a target and people are going to come after you? Are you afraid it's going to require a lot of your time and then you won't get to spend time with your loved ones as much? Are you afraid people are going to judge you? Like, what are you actually afraid of? There's some sort of fear, I think, of success in some way. Oftentimes we think we have a fear of failure. I was just talking about this with my Wealth Vibe members today. We had a really nice long live stream where we covered a lot of different things and we were just chatting, but there's that fear of success holds us back, and it often masquerades as a fear of failure, right? But truly, sometimes we're truly afraid of actually getting what we want. Because in a way, that's scary to the ego because it's still different, right, from what we know. We have the Eel and Iris. We have safety. It was reversed. I don't always read cards reversed, especially with oracle cards, but this one very much stood out to me. It feels unsafe for you to have all the wealth you desire in some way. Why is that? Deck 3, right? We have another one, the Hare and the Oak reversed. New opportunities. Okay, so you think it's going to limit you in some way? Are you going to be limited in some way by the wealth you desire? Is there some part of you? And here's the thing, often we aren't conscious of these fears we have, right? We're often not consciously thinking, oh, when I have $1 million or $5 million or whatever it is you desire, even if it's $10,000, it's like we're often not thinking, oh, I'm actually afraid of that money. These fears are often very subconscious. And so this is something to really sit with and get clear on, is like, in what ways does it feel like I'm unsafe or I'm going to be limited when I have the wealth I desire? Why does that feel unsafe to me? Whenever I see this Goat and Willow card, I always get the sense of vulnerability too. Like, I know that probably this is a goat leaping, but my mind and the way the universe always gets this energy through to me is specifically with this card, because I like this deck quite a bit and use it quite often. But this almost looks like a goat laying on its side to me. Like, and it's very vulnerable. And so what about having more money makes you feel vulnerable? Because there's a lot of legitimate things that come with that, right? Like, as someone who's achieved more wealth in my lifetime, than I thought I would have, there's been times where I've felt more vulnerable having more money, and it's often a subconscious fear. And once I've uncovered it, I've been able to go, oh, actually, no, having more money allows me to actually afford things that keep me more safe in a lot of different ways. So in what way does your subconscious, has it convinced you that it's not safe to have money, that you will feel more vulnerable when you have money, that you won't have as much freedom, that you will be limited in what you can do, right? Here's the thing. Money, absolutely, if it's made especially in an unaligned way for us, can make us feel vulnerable and unsafe and limited. We often associate having a lot of money with having freedom, and that can absolutely be the case. But I've seen this because I used to do a lot of business coaching and money mindset work with people. And what I saw with people is that oftentimes, especially because we have the story of, if you want to make a lot of money, you have to sacrifice, you have to hustle, you have to work hard, right? And that's a whole other load of BS that we can talk about another time. But what would happen is that my clients would want the money so bad that they would come to me after, and they're like, I got to work so hard, and I've worked so hard, and I built up this business, and it's making me a good amount of money or a lot of money, but I don't love it. It's burning me out. I hate it. I hate that I have to keep showing up for it. And I'm like, yeah, of course they're like, I thought it would be easy when I made all this money. I thought things would magically get easier. And I'm like, well, if you built a business making money in a way that felt terrible to you, you're going to have to sustain that business in the same way you kind of built it up. Yeah, maybe you can outsource things, but overall it's going to have that energy. And that's the systems and structures you built it with. You built up revenue in a way that didn't feel good to you because you were just trying to get the money, right? So, of course, it now doesn't feel good to maintain it. So this is, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, the message here is, if you think or you have stories that having all the money you desire, it's going to require or cost you so much, of course it's going to feel limiting. Of course it's not going to feel safe. Of course it's going to make you feel vulnerable. So it's something to really sit with and ask yourself, what do I feel like I'm going to have to give up if I want all this money? My love, you don't have to give up anything. You can have more. You can calibrate to more. You can quantum leap into more. If you believe you have to give something up in order to have the money, that's the thing that's blocking you. If that's your safety or your security or your opportunities, that's what's blocking you from leaping. Because of course, why would you actually want to leap truly on a deep level? There's going to be a big part of you that doesn't want it. It's keeping you from actually becoming that version of you who has the wealth that you desire, actually making that leap and holding it there. We also have the hawk and thistle, graceful persistence. So I get the sense that uncovering what this block is and really working through it might take a little bit of some persistence on your part. Graceful. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be painful. But this is probably a very deep-rooted belief and a sneaky subconscious one, or multiple sneaky subconscious ones at that. So my loves, for deck 3, the universe is saying this doesn't have to be the way that it is. Like, the fears you have do not have to be true. That's not the only way money gets to happen. That's not the only way quantum leaping into abundance has to look or feel. That's just one option. You have that option to quantum leap into a reality where you have a lot of money that makes you feel limited and unsafe and vulnerable. You have that option because you have free will in this lifetime. And there's infinite realities to choose from. But that's not the only reality to choose from. You can equally just as much choose to shift into a timeline where you have all the wealth you desire and you feel so safe, so free, so secure. Okay? In order to do that, you're going to need a little bit of, just a little bit of graceful persistence, a little bit of commitment to identifying and uprooting multiple times probably this sneaky story, because you're going to find it pop up in different ways. Okay, so I'm not saying this to scare you or to be like, this is going to be really hard. It's not. It's just going to be persistent, right? And I'll speak, this is not me channeling for a moment. This is me speaking to you as Taylor, right? Is like, I personally have had fears like this of like, oh, if I have a bunch of money, then now I'm responsible for a lot of people, or people will want more from me. And I have like a wounding around being responsible for others. It goes back to childhood, and I've worked through a lot of it, but I see it pop up in different ways at different times. So I have to be gracefully persistent, right? Like go, oh, that's here again. Oh, there's that story again. Okay, well, let's just nip that in the bud by going, really, is that the truth? I'm going to choose differently. I'm going to choose a different reality. I'm going to choose a different story. I'm going to do any healing I need to do to kind of eradicate that. I'm going to work with that. But it's like, I don't expect it to be gone overnight. Like, it's a story that keeps popping up, and that's okay. One day it will stop popping up, but it pops up in different ways, right? And you just, gently and gracefully continue to eradicate it like a stubborn weed that keeps coming back, right? All right. That's the big thing that's blocking you, my loves. Let's see what else the universe has for you for my deck 3s. Emerald and Milk Thistle. Heal the Healer. Soul's Truth. Atlantis Emerald Tablets. You might be Atlantean. There might be some of that in your past life. More so, Heal the Healer. Really, I wouldn't be surprised if you are a healer. If maybe even, tell me in the comments if this is the case. If not, it won't be for all of you, but I think for most of you, what you are almost afraid of happening, or what the fear is of having that money you desire, of actually getting it, that block is actually something that you actually are quite familiar with, that you maybe even help people with, maybe professionally, or maybe it's what you, maybe it's what, you've helped someone with in the past. It could also be like, I get the sense like if you're a doctor or a healer of some kind, energy healer, whatever it is, and you've seen a lot of people burned by others who have money, or burned out by money, or limited or made unsafe by having more money or something like that. It's like you've had to maybe heal the problems that causes. Of course, you're like, why would I want the money? Like some part of you, right? Even though, yeah, you want it though, because more money also opens doors for us and does allow us to be safer, right? It's just what we choose with it. So, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case for a lot of you, that you've helped other people heal this sort of stuff, so you understand how real it can be, but it doesn't have to be real for you, right? Heal the Healer. See what else comes up for you. Per and Larimar, let go, surrender, release patterns, triggers, Pleiades. Ooh, a lot of different star seed energies here potentially. Well, Atlantis not technically, but you know what I mean. Past life stuff here. This very well could be a fear you've carried for a long time, that it's really, this is your time, this is your lifetime, and to release that karma and clear it. Very well could be. Deck 3. But regardless of whether that is or not, truly the message here is like, let go of that pattern, let go of that fear, let go of the patterns and triggers, the stories, that if you have more money, this is the negative consequences of it. That does not have to be the case unless you make it the case. You're the creator of your reality. It will be whatever you say it's going to be. Whatever you truly believe it's going to be underneath it all, right? That's why it's important to be gracefully persistent in getting and uprooting those stories over and over, right? Again, golden apple, rewriting. How much more clear can we be? Queen codes, herstory, healing, distortion. Healing distortion, what did I just say? Like, because you keep healing this issue, you're now worried it will be an issue for you. It does not have to be. Part of this is rewriting your own story. Like I was saying before, tell the story you want to be true of what it's going to be like when you quantum leap into the wealth you desire. But also, rewrite this story for others. This is something, whatever this fear is you have, again, I get the sense it's like just the general story is the more money I have, the less, safe I am, the more of a target I am of, or the less freedom I have, or the more my health suffers or whatever. It's like the less I have, the more money I have. I have less in other areas of life, the more money I have, right? That's like the overall kind of vibe and story here. I get the sense that whatever that specific story is for you, it's not only something for you to heal, it's something that you're here in this lifetime to help others heal around, which is really, really beautiful. And the way you're going to do that is by healing it within yourself and making that quantum leap and flipping the story, telling the story you want to tell, and then doing that so then you can then go to other people and be like, look, I've overcome it. Here's how you heal that story. Or at least just living by example and letting other people see a different example of someone who does have the wealth and abundance they desire, and they are incredibly safe and incredibly free and secure, right? Like even if you don't want to teach people how to do that, but you live that as an example, that alone will give people a different template to look at, okay? A different story to adopt, and you will get to change the world in quite a big way just by allowing yourself to have money in the way that suits you and that you actually want to. Okay. This is so perfect. We have the wealthy woman. We have prosperous prayer. So the wealthy woman, the titular card of my deck that I created. The wealthy woman is all about embodying the version of you and the reality you desire to have, and knowing that you're worthy of it. It's like the universe is really saying, how can you give yourself the safety and the security and the freedom that you desire? How can you give yourself all of those things now? Do you need to heal things? Do you need to have conversations with others? Do you need to just create a plan for when the money does come? How are you going to, handle it so that it's protected and you're protected, right? Like, would you hire a lawyer? Would you create a trust? What would you do, right? Create a plan now. If that helps you feel more safe now, or just give yourself the energy of safety. I'm also getting inner child healing for that potentially, right? So whatever you need to do to help yourself feel safe and free to the best of your ability now, do that, right? Also, if you're not sure how to do that, ask for help from others, ask the universe. Ask for support, ask for guidance, ask for signs, but also ask other people to help you. Be like, wow, I have this story that if I get all the money I desire, I'll be worse off in some way. Can you help me with that? Can you help me heal it? I've personally, in the past, when I had stories of I had a story when I wanted to make my first 20K month in business. I was so afraid to, because I thought, I think I talked about this recently, or maybe I think this was my Absolute Abundance offering, where we have exclusive card readings in there. But I think I was talking about it in there. But I told my husband, when I was 5+ years ago in my business, when I wanted to make my first 20K month, and I was so afraid to, because I did this prompt that I told you about, what am I afraid of happening when I have the wealth I desire? And what came up was this sneaky subconscious belief that I believe that if I made $20K in a month, my husband would be upset with me because I would have less time to spend with him, which is, as soon as I wrote it down in my journal, I was like, that's absurd, because my husband is the most supportive, wonderful husband there is. And there's no way that would be the case. But I had this weird story. So I went and I told him, I said, hey, babe, like, I just uncovered this, but I think this is blocking me from stepping into my 20K months. Can we talk about it? And he was like, well, yeah, but of course, like, if you're making 20K months, like, I'm not going to be mad, because then we're going to have 20K a month and it's doing something you love, as long as we still spend some time together. It doesn't have to be all the time. He's like, I understand. And I was like, okay, great. And just like that, the story was released. So I asked for the help in releasing it. I just had that conversation, and then that story was gone. And a couple months later, I hit my first 20K month, right? There was a lot of other things that went into that, but that was something that was definitely blocking it for me. So don't be afraid to ask, my loves. All right, let's get another card for you. I need more guidance for deck 3. The child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, tenderness. Again, like I said, with some of the inner child healing, also just kind of giving yourself that reassurance that you've got this. This really comes down to trusting yourself. Deck 3, like, in order to help you truly quantum leap, in order to help you get over this story and step into the wealth you desire without fear. I've messed up all my cards here, but I'm going to readjust them. In order to do that, you have to be willing to trust yourself. And when I say trust yourself, in this case, I mean you have to be willing to trust that you can handle whatever comes your way. You have to be so certain of yourself that you will be able to handle and figure out whatever happens, whatever you leap into and wherever you land when you leap. Like, you'll be able to figure it out. You have to foster that trust in your side of yourself. And if you don't, then you will never leap, because you'll be so uncertain that, can I handle it, right? Can I handle the money when it shows up? Even if you get rid of the fear, it's like, you have to be so certain that you've got this. You have to have this unshakable confidence in your ability to handle it, to handle whatever comes. It's a great skill to have in quantum leaping. It's a great skill to have for a lot of things in life, right? It makes you pretty unstoppable. So you really have to cultivate that trust in yourself. I'm going to get another card to see how we can cultivate that trust. But I will also say this is something we're doing. This is a big component of what we're doing in our challenge inside the Wealth 5 membership next month, is we're working on trust. That's one of the 3 pillars we're working on, so that you can easily quantum leap and then stick the landing and stay in that timeline, right, into your wealthiest timeline. So if you want to come be a part of that, get my support with it and the community support with it, come join me inside of the Wealth 5 membership at the link in the description below. Financial flow. The way that you're going to be able to trust more is like, it's kind of almost a little paradoxical, but it's by surrendering. It's by just making the decision of, like, I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to, again, I was talking about this inside the Wealth 5 membership. We had a phenomenal call today, so it's all top of my mind, but we had this conversation where I was talking about how when I'm able, like, there's months in my business where when I'm able to just not care at all if I make any money and just be along for the ride and see where the month takes me, where my inspiration takes me, where the universe takes me, and I'm just along for the ride of experiencing life, and I'm not worried about the money, then the money comes in even more, and that my financial flow is just increased like crazy. And this is because I'm surrendered, so I'm trusting, right? And it's just that perspective shift, that mindset shift of, I'm just going to be along for the ride. And none of this really matters in the cosmic scheme of things, so I'm just going to kind of go for the ride and enjoy the ride of life, right? And enjoy being alive and seeing whatever comes my way, good or bad or however I perceive it. So that helps me trust, but also I'm able to do that because I trust myself to figure out whatever comes or wherever I land or whatever is brought to me. I trust myself to figure it out. It doesn't mean that there's times where I doubt myself. It doesn't mean that there isn't times where I doubt myself. It doesn't mean that I never have any fears. But when I can keep coming back to that trust and flowing with life, like, then life flows with me. So that's what the universe is giving you here. How can you trust yourself so that you can flow with life and life can flow with you? Do you want to adopt that mentality at times of, I'm just along for the ride to see what happens? I know that can be hard to do around money because money is a necessity in our world, and I don't want to downplay that. But when we can not be so worried about what's going to happen or not going to happen in the future, and instead just flow and enjoy life and enjoy being alive, whatever that means or looks like for us at any given moment, we find so much possibility opens up to us in each moment. And then we can pick the reality we want because we trust that we have that ability to pick, and that we'll know how to pick and we'll know what to do to pick the next reality we want to leap into. So deck 3, trust yourself. You've gotten this far. You've survived every day of your life up until now, which is amazing. So you've clearly got this. You can handle whatever comes your way, whether you believe you can or not. That's a different matter. That's something to cultivate. But you can handle whatever comes your way when the wealth you desire appears. All right? Start building up that trust. Start proving to yourself how you can handle things. Start looking back on what you have handled before, ways you've surprised yourself with how strong or resourceful you are. Remind yourself of how capable you are so that you build up that trust. So then you feel like no matter what, like I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to rewrite the stories. I'm going to choose the reality I actually want to jump into and not what I'm afraid to jump into. And then I'm going to trust that no matter where I land or how it looks, I will figure it out. That's the key for you. Deck 3. All right, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below letting me know what you thought, what you took from it, how it resonated. I love getting to hear how these land for you, hearing the synchronicities. It lights me up so much. So thank you to those who comment. I truly appreciate it. And I'd love to get to connect with you in the comments if you like. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, you are more than welcome to do so for future card readings around abundance and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. And if you want to come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership or grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck before stock runs out soon, the links for both of those are in the description and in the pinned comment below. So with all that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity, abundance, trust, first and foremost. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, you picked deck number 4 and the clear quartz crystal. In this reading, we're going to be uncovering what is blocking you from quantum leaping or shifting realities into your wealthiest desired timeline. So a very quick reminder before we dive in that I do not currently offer private readings to anyone outside of the Wealth Vibe membership. So just please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and asking for payment for readings. Those people are not me. Please do not get scammed by them. If you do want to join the Wealth Vibe membership, I would love to get to connect with you in there. It really is, in my very humble opinion, the best place to help you up your money manifestation game. We have exclusive and personalized card pulls, monthly challenges to help you master different approaches to manifesting money. We have our money and spirituality themed book club, a high vibe community of like-minded people, and so much more. And it's only $25 a month. It's an absolute steal. So we're also doing a whole challenge in the Wealth Vibe membership this coming month of March to help you prepare to successfully quantum leap into the wealth you desire. So you really set the foundations there very clearly. And then the next month in April, we'll be doing a challenge where you're actually quantum leaping into that reality. And I'll be supporting you and the community will be supporting you every step of the way. So if you feel called to join me there in the membership, or if you want to get a copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck before stock runs out, this is the deck that I authored that we'll be using later in the reading. The links for both the membership and the deck are in the description and in the pinned comment below. So with that being said, let's get into your reading. Deck 4. Let's see. What is deck 4? Need to hear to quantum leap. What's blocking deck 4 for quantum leaping into the wealth they desire? What's blocking them? Balance, cracking open, deep healing, balancing, karma. So deck 4, excuse me. I've been switching my numbers all these readings, and it's like I truly feel like I'm kind of operating outside of the bounds of time right now, which is very cool. But the guidance for channeling is very clear and very potent and different today. So really interesting. For you, for balance deck 4, what's blocking you is there's something that you're not looking at, some sort of healing that needs to happen. Could be karma, right? That you're not letting yourself look at. I'm getting that like this is incredibly powerful, deck 4. you're starting to crack open. It's almost like you are, like your reality is starting to burst at the seams. And this could be in a bad way. It's really in a good way. But there's a part of you that's afraid to let it happen. So you're kind of like, it's almost like this image shows, but you're, I guess it's like you're almost trying to like contain it in. It's like when something's like bubbling over, like if you have, you know, if you have like soda and it's like bubbling over because it got shaken up or something, you pour it and it's all pouring out and you try to put your hands on top to stop it, but it kind of stops it, but it's still overflowing. Like that's kind of energetically what I'm seeing for you right now. With where you are, it's like you're actually quite ready to leap and your soul's trying to leap. Your ego is still holding on. Your ego is still holding on to this timeline, to this reality. There's something that you're afraid to leap, or there's some reason you don't want to go. So let me see, let's get some more clarity. Deck 4. Sacred space, cultivate your space, inner beauty, self-care. It could be for some of you that you don't feel like you're in a space where it's safe to leap, or you're in an environment that allows you to actually realize you're leaping, right? That you're actually kind of like hovering between timelines. You kind of are shifting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you're not really able to fully let yourself go into this other timeline. There's some sense of like, this isn't the right space. This isn't safe for you. I get this for some of you, it might be your home life. And it's not to say your home life is unsafe. For some of you, that could be the case. If so, please get help. But I get the sense more that it's like, you feel like you're like, oh, you feel like you're not in the right time. Like there's no way you could be shifting now because things aren't aligned and as perfect as they should be. But my loves, we have abundance here, raising your vibration, light missions, reactivations. You are like, you have to let go of how you think it has to look for you to leap. You can leap at any time. You can shift timelines at any time, but it's not always going to look how you think it is. Like I can tell you from personal experience, and the universe is also telling you, that when you shift, oftentimes it doesn't look different immediately. Like when we talk about quantum leaping, shifting into our highest timeline, having money manifest like that, it's not so much that you're shifting into a reality where all of a sudden you check your bank account and there's just $20 million there, and before there was only 200. That can happen, and you can shift into that reality, but often we have so much resistance to doing it that we don't let ourselves, right? I have not mastered being able to do that yet, I will tell you that. That is a whole nother level, but there has to be some understanding that like things can shift, but it won't necessarily look like they've shifted at first. And so what the universe is saying is that you feel like you're kind of holding yourself back because you keep shifting, but then you kind of go, it hasn't changed. The money hasn't shown up yet, so it hasn't changed. The success or what I want hasn't appeared magically right away or in the first hour or week of me shifting. And so I didn't do it. I didn't actually shift. And in saying that to yourself, you shift back, right? So the universe says you have to kind of go beyond that. You have to be able to raise and hold your vibration in alignment with whatever reality you're shifting into. So I get the sense that you're like, I get high vibe, I shift into this other reality, I quantum leap, whether you're doing that consciously or not. I shift into my wealthiest timeline, I align with it, and then I look at the 3D reality and I waver and I go, the money hasn't shown up yet, whether it's after a couple days or weeks, right, or minutes. And then I go back to being like, the money's not here, the abundance is not here, so I go back, I must not have done it right. The universe is like, you did it right. It's just that you're not raising your vibration, you're not being able to hold the vision of what you desire. You're not being able to hold the energy of it to stay in that timeline. So you're like, your soul is ready. Your soul is ready to go. It's ready to be there, but you're so imbalanced, right? This is our balance card. You're teetering. I'm getting like on a teeter-totter almost. Like you keep doing like this, where you keep going back and forth to the reality you want and back to the other reality because you can't find your balance in the reality you actually desire to be in the level of wealth, because you're not able to be the version of you and feel as though the money has shown up before it has fully. If you did, you probably wouldn't even be watching this video because you would know it's already there, right? So learning how to do that, learning how to hold your leap is what you need to be doing. You're perfectly capable, you are leaping, right? And I always say quantum leaping is actually quite easy. Shifting timelines is incredibly easy. We do it all the time, but often we just end up shifting right back to the one we're in now or something very similar and staying in very similar timelines. We rarely ever like actually accidentally shift into a very different timeline or a very different level of wealth in our reality and then hold it. We often have to do that very intentionally. So here's the deal, my loves. You have to get really good at letting the inner manifestation of what you desire, of the money you want, of the wealth you seek. You have to get really good at letting the inner manifestation be enough, because in doing that, you take the physical manifestation off the pedestal and you're able to just see how you actually have all the wealth you desire now on an energetic level. And then because you're in that state and you let that be enough and you revel in the feeling that you would feel, the energy you would experience when you have the wealth you desire, when you can create that for yourself now, you no longer need the money. You don't even really frankly care. And then that's when the money can show up, because you're a match for it. Because if you already had the money, you wouldn't be going, where's the money? It would already be there and you'd be enjoying feeling like you have the money, right? Like I can talk around in circles like this forever, but I'm trying to say it in different ways so it lands for you. So that's what you have to get really good at. This is the third thing that we're going to be focusing on in our challenge this next month inside the Wealth Membership, is holding the energy and holding the vision. Like that's the third piece. We have 3 pillars that we'll be working on to set yourself up for a successful quantum leap that you'll be able to stick in that timeline and stay there once you've leaped. So that's what we're doing. So if you want support with this, it's exactly what we're doing in one of the weeks of our next month's challenge. So come join me at the Wealth Vibe in the link in the description below. All right. Now I want to pull from another deck now for you. That deck's kind of, we might come back to it for you. We'll see. Okay. Oh yes. There are some cards for you here, my loves. Ooh, okay. So this could be really what's blocking you from being able to hold the vibration is and release the 3D manifestation and not, be very detached of how or when or if it even comes. What this block could be for you really is coming down to how you identify with money, truly. So how do you identify with money, deck 4? What I mean by this, when I say how do I identify with money, is oftentimes we attach our worth to money. So we make the money we have or don't have mean something about us. For you, you could be making it mean in this very cosmic sense, like, oh, I didn't quantum leap. I didn't do it right because the money didn't show up right away. It could also be that you're making it mean like, I am not working hard enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm a failure in some way, right? If the money you desire isn't showing up in an external way. So you have to ask yourself, this is something you can journal on or reflect on, but ask yourself and get really honest with yourself about where am I making the money I have or don't have mean something about me at my core. There has to be a decoupling of that, deck 4, in order for you to be able to release the need or, the pressure for the money to show up in the physical reality and then therefore be able to manifest it, right? So you really have to do that. So a way that you can do this is by seeing money as a tool. It's a lot of what this card is about, the Artisan card in the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. You have to be willing to see money as a tool and not as a metric of success. If you see money as a metric of success or happiness or anything else, find a different metric. Find a more spiritually aligned and nurturing metric, because it is not fair to yourself to just water yourself down to this box of I'm successful if I have money and I'm not successful if I don't. That is such a lie. You can be incredibly successful or incredibly good at what you do or incredibly smart and still never make money because you're too attached to it and it's too on a pedestal for you. And so you're creating separation from it by feeling separate from it, right? You can also be terrible at what you do. You can be a not very good person. You can be just a miserable person in so many aspects and yet be incredibly wealthy, right? And that's because those sorts of people aren't attaching money to their sense of self-worth. Money, physical money, when we talk about money that you have in your bank account or your hand, money does not care whether you are a good person or a bad person. It does not care how good or smart or pretty you are or are not. So it only cares like who thinks it can have me, who thinks it's worthy of me, who's a match for me. That's really all it is. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart, I'm and you're measuring yourself, you're saying, I don't have money, I don't have the money I want, so therefore I must not be working hard enough or doing the right thing, or I must not be good enough in some way or smart enough. How unfair to yourself to measure yourself in a way that money does not measure you. That is completely constructed. It's a construct of our society. For you to measure the infinite expanse of your soul by dollars in your bank account is absurd. But so many of us do it. It's conditioned into us. And so that has to go. If you want to quantum leap, that has no place in the reality you are leaping into, where you have all the abundance you desire, because you do not have any attachment or identity with the money that you have. You just have it, and you get to enjoy having it because you know you're worthy with or without it. You're enough with or without it because you've taken off the pedestal. The Pathfinder card. I think, deck 4. What I'm getting from my guides right now is that as soon as you let go of the need for the money to manifest in order to feel like you're successful or good enough or secure enough or anything like that, any of those made up stories, once you can let that go, then what will happen is you'll start to actually get clearer and more honest with yourself about what actually truly excites you in this lifetime, whether that's related to money or not. And what I'm getting is going to happen is that you're going to kind of be led down a totally different path when you actually leap into this different reality, because you're not attached to money as a definition or part of who you are. So you can actually shift and not be attached to the 3D reality, right? When you can do that, you're going to shift in this reality where you're actually getting honest with yourself about what you truly want to do, and you give yourself permission to do it before the money even shows up. And that's actually going to allow the money to come to you, because it could very well put you on a totally different career path where you are making money in a totally different way. It also could just slightly shift what you're already doing and bring money to you. And it could just be that little tweak that needed to happen to have all this money come pouring in, right? So truly, deck 4, the key here is give yourself permission to do whatever you think you've been needing to wait on money to give you permission to do. Give yourself permission to do that now to the best of your ability, right? I know sometimes we're I have a job I have to work because I have bills and a family to support. And it's okay, don't go quit your job to go do that thing you're excited about, but start doing that thing on the side and give yourself permission to go for it and see yourself as successful at it before the money shows up, right? Just an example. But how about you actually start doing what you want to do, trusting that you get to pursue what you want, and you're not waiting on money to feel like you're good enough or successful enough or free enough to do it. You're already enough of those things. You just have to release how it looks, and you have to release any attachment to your identity around money. Deck 4 coming through here. Let's go to another deck, see what we get for you coming up. What else is blocking deck 4? Quantum leaping into more abundance. I don't like none of these cards. I feel like there might be some resistance to hear whatever's coming next, or maybe it's already been a lot for you, but the universe is giving me something here. Ooh. There we go. Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. The wasteland, sustainability, slow down, tend to your garden. Again, I just get that you've been moving so fast. Deck 4, trying to force yourself to get to where you want to go, but then in doing so, holding yourself back from it because it's not looking how you think it should look. And that's making you doubt yourself. Not listen to what truly excites you. It's you've been going so fast trying to make it happen that you've actually missed, like I said, that you've actually been leaping. You're just not staying there. You've been missing all the abundance that's available to you right now. Like I said, on that soul level, it's hidden in plain sight. It's available at any moment. But you're almost blinding yourself to it. So you have to slow down. The universe is saying, in order to be able to do all this stuff we've been talking about so far in this reading, you have to slow down and nourish yourself a little bit, rest, Don't be in such a rush to get to the money. I know that can sound counterintuitive in a reading that's about getting to the money the fastest you possibly can because we're quantum leaping into it. But sometimes in order to move faster, we have to move slower. It's like when I often use the analogy of it's like an arrow or a slingshot. When you pull it back, it's like you're not moving, you're actually going the opposite direction. You feel like you're not moving toward what you want, but then when you release it, the faster and farther you go toward what you do want. I also will give you this example of, this is a personal example. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not. This is just my reality with it is there are times in business as an entrepreneur where I have had to go slower and feel like I'm moving slower because I'm maybe like I've recently like been working on some rebrand stuff or some, especially right now with like writing my manuscripts for my upcoming publishing deals. It's like there's no or very little money up front for that stuff right now. So it can feel like, oh, I'm taking away from the time from the things that do immediately make me money. But the reality is, by not trying to move so fast to the money right now, this month, next 6 months, and actually slow down and work on these projects, I'm investing in the future because those projects have the potential to explode so much more and create more money, more impact, more exposure for me in my business in the long run. So there has to be this willingness, deck 4, to sometimes go slow, but not make it mean anything about you or about the abundance you're trying to manifest or what reality you're in. You have to learn that it's sometimes by going slow, you actually go further and you do it in a sustainable way, in a way that doesn't burn you out, in a way that feels really good to you and allows you to follow what truly excites you. So stop trying to get where you want to go so fast and you'll actually get there faster. It's in going and trying to get there so fast and being impatient about it or doubting that you're on the right track. Like that slows you down more than actually slowing down does. So just something to think about there. Ooh, success. You're meant to be incredibly successful with whatever reality you shift into. Deck 4, you're meant to be you're shifting into a reality where you're going to be extremely successful. Now, success can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but whatever it means to you on a soul level, whatever way it means that excites you, not the traditional definition of success, but whatever it means to excite you, like you are shifting into a reality that you have quite a capacity for success, that you're actually going to be quite successful. But again, similar to how we had the guidance of choose a different metric for your sense of worth or a different metric for how you identify with yourself than money. We have to pick a different metric for success than money or fame or anything like that. So pick a metric for success that actually feels good to you. In doing that, you're going to find, again, it's like with money, it's the same thing. When the universe is like, it's all the same lesson, learning and teaching, that you're being asked to learn. Oh, this is probably the karma that you're being asked to learn over and over. Is it's like, you can feel successful now. If you change your definition of success, you can feel abundant now if you change your definition of abundance, especially in terms of understanding that the only reason we want to have external success in the 3D world, the only reason we want to have money or wealth in the 3D reality we live in is because we think it'll make us feel a certain way internally. When you can skip right to feeling that way internally, it does not matter if the success shows up or the money shows up ever or looks how you think it was supposed to look. It doesn't matter because you've just decided you are a successful, wealthy person. Period. You feel that way. And when you let the feeling and how good it feels to feel wealthy and successful, and you let that be enough, then of course you become a match and a magnet for all the wealth and success you desire. So, you're meant to be successful, you're meant to be wealthy. Define your own definitions of it. Ones that feel good to you, ones that you can give to yourself right now. To give you an example, I've used this example before on this channel in a reading. If you're hearing this again, you've heard me say this before on a reading on this channel. This is just a confirmation. This is really the lesson that the universe keeps bringing you back to learn. for me, a long time ago, and especially those of you who know human design, I'm a projector. If you know human design, great. If you don't, that's fine. But in human design, my signature theme is success, meaning when I feel successful as a projector, that means it's a sign that I'm in alignment with with life, with the way I'm meant to move through life. So a while back when I was first learning my human design, for those of you who are new to me and don't know, I built my first 6 figures and then multiple 6 figures in business being like a human design guide and coach. So this is my bread and butter for a long time. But when I first learned about human design, before I really started experimenting with it, and I learned as a projector and was supposed to feel successful, I defaulted to the traditional definition of success. And I used to think that I needed to be really successful in my business and money. And then that was a sign that I was in alignment with how I was meant to move through life. And what I found along the way was the more that I tried to chase success outwardly, the less I had it and the worse I felt. And instead, when I shifted the definition of success and defined it for myself and said, I'm successful when I go after what I want. I'm successful when success to me is doing what makes me happy. Success to me is doing what feels aligned and having the courage to do it and doing it, whether that's how I make my money or not, or people like it or not. That's successful to me because that's what feels good to me. And when I leaned into that definition of success, all the money started pouring in because I was being the version of me who had the wealth I desired already. I was being the successful version of me, but I was also I was putting myself in alignment. I wasn't waiting for something to give me permission to be in alignment. I wasn't waiting for the money or the outward accolades to give me permission to feel successful and therefore know I was in alignment. I was choosing to feel successful by my own standards now, and then everything external to me clicked into place to match because I create my reality, and you do too. So, redefine success for yourself, redefine wealth for yourself. That's really what you're being called to do. When you do that, that quantum leap is easy and it's easy to hold it. But you gotta let go of the constant impatience and the constant rush and putting the money on the pedestal. You have to let go of those things and find the energy and feeling of wealth, of success right now within yourself. You have the ability to do so. You just have to let yourself go there and not think I have to wait for the money to feel like I'm successful or wealthy. Then you'll never feel successful or wealthy, and you'll probably not get the money you want, or at least not in the way you want it to, or in the way you want it to feel. So I feel like deck 4, I think all the decks really got called out. This was a reading to do to find what's blocking you. And when I do those readings, it's typically my guides in the universe are very tough love, right? But I feel like it's like the universe is like, you are so close. Deck 4 of all the decks. If you picked this deck first, even if you picked it second or third or something, this still applies, but especially if you came here first, if this is the deck you were drawn to first in this reading, you are the closest of all the decks, of all people who watch this reading. You're the closest to what you want. You're just holding yourself back by wanting it so badly that it's like it hurts and it's a part of your identity that you don't have it. That's what has to go. But it's like when you can do that, like it's going to be pretty effortless for you. It's going to happen pretty instantaneously. So keep doing it. It's just about holding it now. So again, come join me in the Wealth Vibe if you want some support with that, because that's what we're doing the next 2 months. All right, deck 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below, letting me know what you took from it, how it resonated, how you felt called out. I love getting to hear your thoughts. That's really such a fun part of these videos, and why I love doing them is getting to connect with you about them. So please do share in the comments. I love getting to hear from you. You are also welcome to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, channeled messages, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so we can stay in touch. And if you want to come join me inside the Wealth Vibe membership or grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck before stock runs out very soon, the links for both of those are in the description below and in a pinned comment below as well. So with all that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance right now, the energy of it. Deck 4, all right? And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.